very good morning. This presentation is brought to you by Resonate International with a mission to leverage knowledge worldwide. The topic being covered is loving self when true transformation begins. Ladies and gentlemen, in a world that often equates self-love with comfort, praise, or external validation, a deeper truth quietly remains unnoticed. Loving self is not an act of indulgence. It is not a cultivated emotion. It is a realization that being human is not ordinary, but an extraordinarily intelligent and precious creation designed with precision, governed by subtle laws, and endowed with immense potential. This preciousness is not accidental. It carries an inherent responsibility where the self stands as the natural custodian of this life. When this realization dawns, not as information but as lived awareness, a silent shift begins within, and from that moment, true transformation does not need to be pursued. It begins. The human system, as understood through advancing science, is not merely biological. It is electrical, chemical, and vibrational at once. Every thought generates neural activity. Every emotion influences biochemical states. Every repeated pattern reshapes the brain through neuroplasticity. In such a system, the way one relates to the self is not philosophical, it is functional. When distortion, self-doubt, or inner conflict dominates, the system disperses energy. When clarity, stability, and understanding take root, the system begins to organize itself. This organization is not imposed from outside. It emerges from within as coherence. Ancient wisdom has long indicated that this human system is not isolated. It is an expression of a larger intelligence that pervades existence. Awareness within observes. Alignment enables choice. Attunement connects. In deeper stillness, communion unfolds. In such clarity, self-love is no longer an effort. It becomes a natural consequence of seeing rightly, of recognizing that this system is not flawed by design, but often misaligned in operation. Within this design exist 5 fundamental energy dynamos: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and aspirational. Each plays a distinct role, yet none operates in isolation. The physical sustains vitality. The mental directs thought. The emotional shapes the internal climate. The spiritual anchors awareness beyond fluctuation. The aspirational provides direction and meaning. When these remain uncoordinated, internal energy dissipates. When these begin to align, inner energy gathers, stabilizes, and strengthens. This alignment is not mechanical, it is experiential. It reflects in steadiness of thought, balance of emotion, clarity of intention, and quiet strength of presence. At this stage, a subtle yet profound shift unfolds. The brain, designed not merely for reaction but for awareness, alignment, attunement, and higher communion, begins to function closer to its intended potential. Instead of being driven by scattered inputs, it starts operating from integrated intelligence. This integration generates coherence. Coherence helps achieve alignment and attunement, and this makes resonance possible naturally. In resonance, effort reduces and friction softens. Actions become precise, responses balanced, and interactions harmonious. The internal state begins to influence the external environment, not through force but through consistency of being. What emerges is often experienced as an inner sun, not as a metaphor alone, but as a steady presence of energy, clarity, and quiet radiance. It does not seek attention, yet it influences. It does not demand recognition, yet it transforms. Such radiance is not created by addition. It is revealed when internal systems come into harmony. And that harmony begins with a simple yet profound shift from misperception to clear seeing, from fragmentation to alignment, from effortful becoming to natural unfolding. What's the way forward? Observation of life reveals a consistent principle. Wherever energy is scattered, inefficiency follows. Wherever energy is aligned, capability expands. The human system reflects the same truth. When the 5 internal energy dynamos function without coherence, fatigue, confusion and imbalance arise naturally. When these begin to align, even subtly, clarity sharpens, stability strengthens, and effectiveness improves. This is not a matter of belief, it is a matter of design. The physical responds to rhythm and care. The mental responds to clarity. The emotional responds to balance. The spiritual responds to stillness. The aspirational responds to meaning. When seen as interconnected, a natural synchronization begins to emerge. In that synchronization, energy is not merely conserved, it is amplified. Such amplification influences both brain and body. The body gains steadiness. The brain gains sharpness. More importantly, the brain begins to engage in what is inherently designed for, that is, deeper awareness, finer alignment, higher attunement, and meaningful communion with the larger intelligence of existence. From here, the inner sun does not need to be imagined. It begins to be experienced as a steady source of clarity, energy, and influence. No external addition creates this state. It emerges from internal coherence. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, loving self then is neither an instruction nor a practice. It is a recognition that human life is a precious cosmic gift, and the self as its natural custodian carries the quiet responsibility to value, preserve, and align it with its highest potential. When this understanding deepens, the search outside softens and the movement within becomes steady and meaningful. From that depth, a quiet radiance begins to rise, an inner sun that remains steady beyond circumstances, an inner sun that shines without striving, an inner sun that not only transforms within but gently influences all around. And in that realization, loving self is no longer something to be done. It becomes the very way of being. In the revealed Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna profoundly states, let a person uplift oneself by oneself. Let one not degrade oneself. For the self alone is the friend of the self, and the self alone is the enemy of the self. In that uplifting, in that alignment, in honoring this precious life, the inner sun finds its full radiance, and where that radiance awakens, loving self truly begins, and true transformation naturally unfolds. Good luck, best wishes, and God bless.